Welcome to RebelsCast. My name is Jonathan, and of course, joining me is Nicki.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, so we're finally back. Just life has been crazy.
Oh my God, it has. Especially for you.
Yeah.
You got to go to Toronto Film Festival. I'm so
Yes.
jealous.
Yes. I'm hoping to do. I spoke a little bit about it on Big Picture Radio, and I really want to do a special on it, just like a 1-2 hour kind of, probably like a 1 hour special with my fellow attendees.
Do it.
So
Do it.
just the two. Unfortunately, two of them are still in college, so that'll be a little harder.
Oh, that'll be fun to organize.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, saw so many movies. Um, by the end, they were like whenever I was seeing like 3 movies in one day, they just completely just. I mean, some movies I don't remember anything about them.
Yeah, that could be a problem, but you'll get there.
Yeah, like Danish Girl, I vaguely remember it. Like vaguely.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that movie.
Stonewall, which was okay. I barely remember that one. I don't remember that one at all.
Yeah, as an ally of the LGBT community, I'm kind of standing with them on the fact that it's incredibly historically inaccurate.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody appreciates Roland Emmerich, though he is an odd choice of director for Stonewall, what he's trying to do, but it's incredibly historically inaccurate.
I see.
But it's good to have something out there, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, so I have to look over my list and try to refresh my memory at our movie theater. Probably they'll probably show
Yeah.
some of them. I know Room is coming. Room was amazing, so I'll definitely be rewatching Room at our theater.
Oh yeah, I want to see that. As long as it's not like the really horrible movie Room, I'm fine.
Okay.
No, but I've been looking forward to seeing Room for a while, and a lot of the other films that I was seeing, and I was like, oh, Jonathan's there. I wonder if he's seeing this one and this one and this one.
Yeah, it got the People's Choice Award at TIFF.
Yeah.
So, but this is not a movie podcast. This is
No, because the two of us could go on and on and on and on. Even more so than we go on and on about Star Wars.
Yes. Okay, so this episode is called, I forget. What is the name of it?
Siege of Lothal. Siege of Lothal.
Right. So, this is a little special. We thought it was coming in the fall, and it turns out it did come in the fall, It was just that this was a special summer episode.
Exactly.
So it's a little confusing, but
what they were teasing us with at Celebration.
right.
Well, those who got to go.
Right, which was not us.
No, we were sadly stranded in our respective states, unable to attend.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time. Okay, so this episode is definitely has the. Oh, by the way, it's October, so the Inquisitor is this month's character.
Oh, excellent!
So,
I miss him.
Yes.
I miss him. But apparently we're getting a new Inquisitor soon, so.
Yep. So this episode, we were literally looking forward to this episode because it was going to have Vader in it.
Oh, God, yes.
And James Earl Jones is back.
So, I mean, that just is the icing on the cake. I mean, I was totally looking forward to this season even more so than last season, and I was really looking forward to last season. So, and part of that was the love of Vader. I mean, you cannot have somebody else do that voice. I'm sorry. People have tried, and they all have failed. James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader, and I'm so glad they got him to come back.
Agreed.
There's just no one else. I'm sorry, not even James Arnold Taylor or D. Bradley Baker can do the Vader voice.
Right. So we start off in this, in the Rebels. We're actually, it's not just,
not just our Rebels, it's all the Rebels.
Yes, it's all the Rebels. And we have Phoenix Squadron, which is cool, which is made up of A-wings, and in the previous, in the other movies, we didn't really get much of the A-wings, but this time we see, I mean, we did see a few kind of here and
Right.
there in the Battle of
Mostly
Endor.
if you know the headgear of the pilots, which sadly I do. Um, the A-wings were not really shown as just as the ship, but mostly as pilots getting blown up.
Right.
And you could tell by the kind of helmet they wore in this episode that matched the helmet that the A-wing pilots wore in the films. So I think bringing some of those lesser known ships into play, because we also didn't see a lot of B-wings in the films, and those are pretty ships. So I'm hoping we get some of those too.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, I just love probably, I mean, of course we know this show unfortunately doesn't have like the standards that Clone Wars has. They don't have the budget
Hmm.
and such, but I think the ships look fantastic, and I really can't tell much difference between the ships in Clone Wars and Rebels because I mean, just love seeing all these ships. The fact that these are kind of the precursors to the Star
Hmm.
Destroyers, and just seeing them all fly around the Imperial shuttle was very
Oh
nice.
God. Seeing some of that was just so cool because I think, well, yeah, we don't have the budget on Rebels that we did on Clone Wars. I think actually the kind of animation that Rebels is using is actually lends itself better to the ships that we're used to. They're not as stylized as they were in Clone Wars. So I think you're able to get Star Destroyers that probably are the first batch of Super Star Destroyers, and you're able to get the A-Wings and even the walkers. They all, and even the ghost.
Right.
They all look so much better, I think, in this style of animation.
Yeah. And the music, we got some more John Williams
Oh God, yes.
during that fight. I was trying to rack my brain. What theme is that?
You know what? I couldn't quite place it either, and I didn't have time to go back and listen to the soundtracks. But it's definitely a part of one of the space battles. And it's not all of it, but there were definitely similarities and similar tones. You could definitely tell John Williams' work was in there. But it was really mostly in bits and pieces that was him, whereas they expanded on some of it. So it wasn't a direct John Williams thing, though there were some. Uh, but I can't quite place which battle it was.
I
But
mean,
there's
I kept
there's
thinking.
always John Williams
I
in
mean,
there.
I kept thinking that it was maybe from A New Hope when they were. Um,
It would make the most sense considering this episode, especially, was so reminiscent of A New Hope in a
yeah,
lot of ways.
like
There
maybe
were
when they
even
were in the
lines from it.
right, like maybe when they were in the gun turrets in
Yeah,
in the Falcon. That might be the
yeah,
same.
it's very possible. I would have to watch. Oh darn! I would have to watch the movie again or pull out the soundtrack.
Oh, that's so suck.
God,
Oh, those Star Wars movies.
oh geez, God,
Uh,
I hate to watch those for the 15 or for the 2,588th time.
have you seen Star Wars 500 times
Over.
over?
Very much so.
C,
But
what did he call him? C, what did Tracy Morgan call C-3PO? C, P30 or something?
something like that.
Uh,
I heard
it's
about that.
the
I
CP30 is. I'm like, what are you talking about?
don't know how many people actually get those names wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
especially
Oh,
C3PO.
yeah. I think. And then Jar Jar calls him a 3CO.
Yeah,
I think three
that's
or
just
3 so.
that's just because he has a speech impediment.
Yes. I'm
He
telling you.
can't say certain sounds.
Yeah. After he got the after um Qui-Gon pulled on his tongue, he hasn't had the best.
Yeah,
He hasn't had the best time. The
it's all
tongue.
numb
Oh, or after he also got hit
from the pod racer.
the pod racer, so he's been through a lot.
And
Mostly that of his fault.
yes, we know far too much about these
Yes.
movies.
The thumb.
I
Yeah,
think so. I think we know far too much about these movies.
yes. The thing. So okay, we'll stop. People are just like, oh my gosh, just
It's
Stop it.
very early in the morning for some of us.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, we jumped in this episode mid battle, which I thought was a really cool way to start it. Which
Yeah.
is kind of like, well, Attack of the Clones kind of started that way too. Or was
Right.
it? No, it was not Attack. Revenge of
Oh
the
yeah.
Jedi.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Jedi started kind of like that, but um,
You mean Revenge of the Sith?
yeah, I can't talk.
Revenge of the Jedi. That was the original.
That was the original on my brain. It's very early.
Yes, I know.
Um, but yeah, I thought that whole battle sequence was really cool. And Phoenix Squadron, great addition. I mean, maybe we'll see more of them. Uh,
I think so.
I like how they, I'm always intrigued by the names. Like, we had the Rogues and the Echoes and in the original. So, but yeah, I thought it was a great battle sequence, and it reminded me so much of the films. I love that Hera is like fast becoming like one of the best pilots in the galaxy.
Yeah, one thing that I thought was cool, and it kind of showed us how the crew of the Ghost is still doing these little things, is using the Ghost to use like this magnetic device to get all the crates up and attach them to the bottom. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before. It was like, well, while we are trying to take out these guys and fight the Empire, we're also gonna, pick up a little contraband.
So
That's
uh,
probably like one of their conditions of working with the rebels. Well, at
right.
least like on Kanan's part, Hera's just all in on the rebellion, which is interesting that it started. It's starting to wear on their relationship, actually.
Oh yeah,
They're
we'll get to
showing.
that
Oh
soon.
yeah.
So another thing I think the next part or soon after we switch to Lothal and seeing seeing
Minister Tua.
Minister Tua, um, and she's just, she really does not know what to do.
Uh,
She's
yeah.
all these all. Oh, what you trying to say?
I think that she signed up thinking this was going to be something else, and she's realizing that she's definitely, like you said, kind of in over her head. She's not. She does not know what to do in this
Yeah, I mean,
situation.
she thought that, I'll just be kind of managing people just like any other company or any other
Right.
government thing. I mean, she probably was something like that on her home planet, and she just thought, oh, it'd be an easy transition or maybe a little hard, but she was just not prepared
Yeah, and I
for what
think
was
the
going
more
on.
she learns about what's really going on, I think she's becoming more and more. She's become more and more nervous and wants out, which is admirable that she's like, I don't like what's going on. Um, she was such a company player, but I think now that she knows a little more about the company, she's like, maybe I want to jump ship or at least get out of the line of fire.
Right. We
But
also,
I was very happy to see Callus back.
oh yeah, sideburns. We used to see those sideburns,
Oh yeah, Mutton Chops is back.
you know. Um, So it's interesting that Agent Callus really has this, high up position, higher than we think he has, because he even like I thought he was like ordering one of the Navy admirals or something. He's
He
like,
was.
so I think the Emperor and Vader, they really have some really high expectations for Agent Callus that he gets stuff done, and even if he loses to the Jedi, he's still very formal enemy.
Yeah, I love that because I think it means we'll get more of him. Um, and yeah, there's something that happened in the break. He's really, instead of just being kind of a desk jockey and just like working for the Inquisitor, I think he's been given a position of great esteem. I don't think he'll be force choked anytime soon.
No, yeah,
Unless he becomes an admiral, and those guys don't last long.
no, they do not. So another thing, the minister, she's just trying to do everything she can, but she's just not prepared for this war that's going on.
Well, nobody expected a war, I think. And also, I think people in that position are like, she's all the way on Lothal. She's not really in the midst of the Empire. So I don't think she was like, this ever even entered the realm of possibility. So I think she's more of a puppet, and I think she realizes that now, than she is an actual, like, effective administrator. They need Lando to run that place.
Oh yeah.
we'll
Yeah,
get
we'll get to
we'll
him
get to
later.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. So probably one of my favorite scenes of this episode is when Vader walks in.
Yeah, in my notes I just wrote Vader with an exclamation point.
You know, it kind of the cape is I mean the way the animation of the cape is a little similar to the robes, the Jedi robes.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
think that was intentional because it's not that long. We're not that far out from when he was still a Jedi. I do love the animation on Vader. It's not so stylized that it's hard to kind of look at. Like, that's just not Vader. It's very, very close to what we get in the films, and it's very Ralph McQuarrie.
right.
The bigger eyes and the bigger eye pieces and such, and smaller, kind of the smaller head under the dome, under the bucket.
The bucket. We'll get some more buckets. So of course, they have the line where, you know, the Emperor will deal with you, or Tarkin, Governor Tarkin will deal with you and your failures, and we know what that means.
Oh yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, Tarkin does not take this stuff lightly.
no. Um, so the next thing we see a little conflict going on between Kanan and the rebels. Not quite sure what he's doing with. And he kind of just says, "Come on, Chopper, come on in, and just play this hologram." And it's just, at first it's like, "Oh, it could be innocent," but on second thought, it's like it's secure. This should be a secure meeting.
Right. I don't think he's quite prepared for bureaucracy and what he's so used to just everything happening and just like, yeah, let's watch it. You've got information, let's deal with it. Whereas Hera was absolutely right, and she was like, you can't do that. I think she's like, I think because she's more involved and more interested in the rebellion, he just wants to get back to doing what they did, which was helping people and screwing the Empire. He's
R-
not quite prepared to go full rebellion.
right, give to the needy.
Right, he's the Robin Hood of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he played for a side originally, during the Clone Wars, but he doesn't want to, do that
Well, he was
again.
also a kid. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty much a kid during the Clone Wars, so he was doing what they thought was noble, and we have to protect the people of this galaxy and the beings of this galaxy from these evil forces. And that's what the Jedi do. And he's not, and this is kind of like, I think he's kind of gotten used to that lifestyle of being Robin Hood, and he really believes in doing that rather than having this huge kind of overwhelming rebellion that is out to take back, the Republic. So I think he just kind of wants to lay low. He doesn't want attention called to them, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, I think as a Jedi who has been hunted, I think that's pretty natural for him to be that way.
Yes, I
So I don't
agree.
want to call attention to the fact I'm a Jedi, and the more I'm out there, and my weapon is a lightsaber, it's pretty obvious I'm a Jedi. And the Empire doesn't like us. In fact, they've pretty much extinguished our light from the universe.
Yes. And
So,
and like you said, yeah, Kanan he was involved in the Clone Wars, and he just doesn't want to get involved in another war,
right.
So
I think Hera understands a little of what he went through because she was also about his age during that time, and the Jedi had helped her people. But I don't think she really knows how the death of all the Jedi affected him and why he wants to stay so much more underground than she does. So there's a little trouble in paradise with mom and dad.
right. And in my notes I said subtle Force theme, but I forget which scene that was in, to be honest.
Yeah, the music was much more layered and a little harder to pinpoint the music cues.
Right.
And I think they're just blending it with newer music, which I think is cool because I think it should stand on its own. Not everything has to be exactly what it was in the
Yeah,
films.
agreed. Okay, so and then we get something else that kind of reminds me of Empire Strikes Back when Ezra feels cold,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of how Luke was when he approached the cave, the dark side.
Exactly. And there was a couple of times I was like, he was not whiny, but that he reminded me of Luke, especially in A New Hope, where he's just kind of exploring what it is to be a Jedi. Um, but yeah, there's something that Vader brings to the table that just chills him to the bone.
Right, and then we even get a little, and also I also got a subtle Imperial March
Oh God, yeah.
when seeing Vader. It was like, I mean, we'll get it more later, but there was like a subtle
Right, and
thing like
part
that.
of me was like, am I imagining that? Because every time I see Vader walk in somewhere, I hear the Imperial March in my head.
Yeah,
It's one of my ringtones too.
yeah,
So I and I like that it's subtle because we don't in this universe we don't know a lot about Vader.
right.
We bring a lot of our previous knowledge to Vader, but we don't know how he is at this period of time. Seems like he's really drinking the Kool-Aid and just completely Empire. Like there's no subtlety in him right now.
Right. So we also get the next part. Oh, sorry, I was distracted by a phone call.
It's
Just
okay.
just let it ring. Just let it ring. So let's see. Oh yeah. So they finally, they're trying to get the minister, and we figure something would go wrong. We either thought it was a trap, or really thought that, um,
Yeah,
but it wasn't a
I
trap. It was she got on the ship, and then boom.
it kind of was a trap, and I will admit in my notes and from the original viewing and from this one, I kept hearing Admiral Akbar in my head going, "It's a trap! It's a trap! Don't go in there."
It's a trap.
They set her up, which is really awful, and I really want to know what information she gave the rebels.
Agreed.
Like she said, the real reason the Empire wants Lothal, and they were like, well, they want to mine it for its resources, and she's like, nope. And she's told them because we all see them talking about it and being kind of very animated about it, no pun intended. Um, but it's like, what does she have to tell us? Why didn't she tell us? Well, when are we going to find out? And now she's dead.
Right.
Which, and to be used, I mean, she was already a pawn of the Empire, but now she's cannon fodder. And it shows just how little remorse and how little humanity the Empire really has. I did love seeing Kanan pull a Luke with the stormtrooper armor
Oh yeah.
and the whole Jedi mind trick that Ezra just can't do.
Right.
It was
Um,
very A New Hope.
yes. Very cool. And of
So,
course, of course the and of
of
course,
course.
you know.
Hello?
Oh, okay. I thought I heard something in the background.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah. So we do get um the next part. We get them trying to smuggle something, and it turns out they're smuggling themselves.
Yeah.
Which is like you said, it's similar to A New Hope. We got the Jedi mind trick, and then we got on one of the stormtroopers, and then the next thing we get them trying to smuggle themselves, like in the Falcon.
Exactly.
So that
And
was cool. I like these callbacks. Some are subtle, some are more obvious.
yeah, I mean, I think like casual fans will get some of them, but then there's those of us going, that's a this, that's a that. Oh my God, that's awesome, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Have you smelled me? You know. I thought that was interesting. Kind of. I mean, that was kind of funny, just hearing like him like getting out and gasping for air, and like the other ones who just kind of get out casually.
Yeah, I did love like when the doors opened and Vader stepped out, like and Ezra and Kanan were just like, what?
Yeah.
Who is this? What is going on? And the fact that that Kanan is not aware of Vader. I mean, I wonder if, part of me wonders, did he know Anakin as a Jedi? Was he aware of, I'm sure he was probably aware of him, but, how much is, I mean, obviously nobody knows that Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker at this point,
Right.
except for Vader and the Emperor, of course. But it was like he'd never
And
encountered
maybe,
anything
I
like
mean,
that.
and maybe Tarkin, we're not sure. Because he says in A New Hope, my old friend, you were all that's left of their
Of their
religion,
dying, yeah.
So I think Tarkin knows as
I think
well.
Tarkin does know. I think he's up there so high that he almost treats Vader like a lapdog in A New Hope.
Yes.
It's like he's second in command to the Emperor, not Vader. Like
Right.
he's the muscle. But hopefully we'll get to see him interact with Tarkin in the series. I
Agreed.
think that'd be really cool to see the dynamic of their relationship.
I like that Chopper was stuck in the crate. That was kind of a funny. It was like a funny little quip thing that was like just a few minutes,
Yeah.
or like 30 seconds of him just like hopping up,
I
you know.
was so happy to see Chopper. I missed him.
Yeah. So when they're trying to get on the ship, they discover it's a trap, and then they feel this cold, and that's when the lightsaber fight, right?
Yeah. As they're about to get on, they turn around and there he is. Like it was very much like one of the reveals of Darth Maul from Phantom Menace, where the doors just kind of open and there he is. It was just like the doors open and Vader walks out, and I thought that was an awesome lightsaber duel.
Yeah, I agreed.
It was like Kanan was so outmatched. I think he's kind of taken aback by that. He's kind of surprised by how outmatched he was. But this is Darth Vader. This is Anakin Skywalker we're talking about here. He's one of the greatest, lightsaber wielders in the galaxy. I think only Yoda is possibly better.
Yeah.
Maybe Mace in his prime. But this is
With both
Anakin.
hands.
Both hands. So I thought that I was really happy. I love a good lightsaber duel as much as I love a good space battle, and I think the two of them together and the way he almost got at using the Force got Ezra to almost cut his own head off.
Yeah.
I was like, that's new.
I kind of forgot how small the circumferences of these lightsaber blades. I kind of forgot since it's been a while.
I think the animation makes them look a lot thinner than they do in the films.
Yes. Or even Clone Wars.
Even Clone Wars, yeah. So I think it's just the style of the animation that makes them seem like they're not as, wide or not as don't have as wide a circumference. But we don't really know because I don't think we have any real measurements. Though I'm sure somebody has figured it out.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't doubt
it. Yeah. I'm not the person to try to figure out anything involving math. So if you know what the actual circumference is, let us know.
I was not aware of the math.
No, anything involving pi, forget it. But yeah, I thought it was a great introduction of the team to Darth Vader because it showed him so much as he truly is.
Yeah, and kind of like how Count Dooku was just using the Force to kind of push Obi-Wan out of the way or push Anakin out of the way, just trying to fight them one-on-one.
Right. So let me take care of this one so I can take care of this one.
And sometimes he was just kind of he just pushed. Well, he didn't even use the Force on Kanan. He just used his arm and just pushed him away.
Vader is very physical. I mean, he uses the Force, but he also likes to get in there and, choke you with his hands and not just his mind. But yeah, he liked to toss Kanan about, and I don't think Kanan was at all prepared for what this being had to offer. And when he figures out that it's a Sith Lord, I think the look on his face was just like, oh crap. I thought they were gone.
A Sith Lord?
A Sith Lord. But
sure?
I thought it was like I said, I thought it was a great way to introduce the rebels to Vader.
Yes, and that's definitely the cold
yes.
sensing.
Yes, there is ice flowing through those what veins he has left.
Right.
I mean, it's just pure ice.
Right.
I don't
So
think we'll get the Vader we see from the films. I think that Vader has emotion because of the Luke situation.
right.
This Vader does not care.
Right.
Though he does want to track down Obi-Wan,
Oh yes.
which means maybe we'll get some more Kenobi.
Right. So then we get Tarkin Town, and we learn that they want to make an example. They just want to, they know the rebels have been involved in Tarkin Town, so they just want to say, let's just wipe them out. And it's just not that big of a deal to them. Just
No, it's a
wiping
small little
out.
town. That these guys can blow up a planet. Well, not at this point, but I mean, they want to blow up planets. Taking out this small village in the middle of nowhere on Lothal is nothing, and they're using it as an example. It's like, look, the rebels helped you out. Well, guess what? This is the consequence of you being rebel lovers.
Right.
And I thought it was very Vader. It was a very Tarkin move too. Tarkin totally would have called that. But just it really showed just how cold Vader is. He just didn't care. It was like inconsequential. Human beings are inconsequential to him.
Right. So we do get another appearance by Lando, like we
Yes.
mentioned before, and then it's really cool. I really like the Cloud City theme.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, Lando cooler than the cool side of the pillow. He's back. And he's just as smarmy and cheesy as he always is. And thank you, Billy D, for coming back.
Oh yeah.
Because no one else can do that. I'm sorry. No one else has that vibe. I expected him to be holding a Colt 45 in his hand.
Yep.
But I was really glad. It
Maybe
was
next
like
time. Maybe next time.
next time when they're like, they're like, who can help us, and just the way they approached it, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be Lando. I did not know he was gonna be in this episode. I knew I was getting Vader. I didn't know I was getting Lando too.
All right.
And I
So,
love his droid, by the
oh
way.
yeah, the droid is really good.
That droid was so Ralph McQuarrie C-3PO concept art. It was like Maria from Metropolis right there,
Right.
just with different colors. I was so like that was probably one of my favorite moments was seeing that droid and how it would get almost offended when somebody would say something against Lando. Just the looks, like the look it would give, like the tilt of the head, like, "Are you saying something about my master?" kind of thing. Like I was like, yeah. I like this guy. I hope we see him again.
Right. So of course, and of course one of the things the rebels previously did was steal some shield generators.
Right.
And of course Lando is very smart. He's like, if you only give me two, then that means you must have at least six. So give me three. So he's very very sneaky, very very. These kind of deceptions just don't get past him.
Right. And I know that Hera knew what Lando would do. I think they were prepared for that. That was not a surprise for them.
Right.
They knew that they were going to have to give him half, but um, Lando's smart enough, but Hera's also smart too, and she's dealt with these kind of guys before.
Right.
So I like their interaction. He's still flirty, obnoxious Lando.
Right.
You gotta love him. And then one of my favorite lines from this episode when Ezra says, "I'm not afraid."
Yes, and that's what worries me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is such a Luke Skywalker, line. And
Yeah.
Yoda says, you will be," and I was like, that's awesome because Ezra is kind of the Luke, but just the less whiny Luke, more idealistic Luke.
Right. And the whole thing about fear is
Hmm.
it's a very big kind of topic in the Star Wars saga because, we got the fear in Empire, then when the prequels came out, it's like fear
Fear
is,
it's like another character.
yeah, and it's just like fear can eventually lead to the dark side, you
Fear
know.
leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. And that's why the Jedi Code, there is no emotion, only peace. There is no fear. And that's part of it. I'm not doing the whole thing. But yeah, I think that fear is something that we're definitely going to be exploring because now with the Empire more involved in the episode and a rebellion, now there's going to be a lot more fear across the galaxy. because now we're heading for another war. I mean, we just got out of the Clone Wars not 15 years before that, or 13 years before this, because we're 5 years out from A New Hope. So I think that there's people who still remember the Clone Wars and still remember what happened and how they had to rebuild, and now there's fear is building up again for another battle, for another war.
Right.
And Ezra's feeling that, and so's Kanan, and it's very hard when a Jedi feels fear.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Vader's tie advance.
I'm sorry. When you said that, it just gave me chills.
Oh yeah.
When I saw it, I was, oh my God, it's the tie.
And
It's
really,
the tie advanced.
right, and really, he was just trying to take everyone on at once.
He was by himself. Like, he had figured, very sneaky Vader, very sneaky ancient Sith secret. They like to put tracking devices on ships. The fact that he was going by himself showed his arrogance, but there really was no better pilot than Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
And I don't think Luke will ever come close, had ever come close to that, to being as good as Anakin was. And the fact that he was going to not just take on the Ghost, but eventually he was going to take on the command ship and some of the rebel ships. I mean, he had backup coming, obviously, but I mean, that dogfight was just amazing.
And of course, we skipped over the part where Ahsoka joins the Ghost, just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
And that's when, the apprentice lives. Vader says.
I know, and when I know she knows who it is, even though she said she didn't know.
Yeah, because she just refuses to believe it.
The look on her face was, oh my God, that's Anakin.
Yes.
I know that. I mean, she spent so much time with him. She has to know kind of his what his presence feels like. Only now it's so dark and evil. And she passed out, and I think probably from the realization. And she talked about her master, which she hadn't really talked about. She hadn't talked about before.
Right.
I think that's going to be a really huge confrontation. And it was also the first time that, we have an acknowledgement that Vader had a Padawan. There was never any mention in, the saga of Vader ever having a Padawan, because she would have known him after, in the time period between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And he never mentioned her. He never mentioned her in the original trilogy. So, I mean, not just the fact that she didn't exist at that point because George Lucas hadn't asked for her creation, but it was the first moment that it was acknowledged in canon that Vader had a Padawan. Not Anakin, but Vader.
Right.
So I thought that was a very cool moment, because we're like, yep, it's definitely canon now. And I know some fans have not liked the fact that Anakin had a Padawan. I'm actually okay with it.
Yeah, same here.
I didn't like the Padawan when she was a brat, when she was snipped.
Yeah.
I thought she was annoying, and we called her El Dopa Tano. But I actually like the adult Ahsoka.
Yeah,
I think she's not annoying at all. And nothing against Ashley Eckstein, because I thought she does great voiceover work, and I love her work with her universe. But that character was just, it was like watching Luke Skywalker on ADHD.
Right.
Because it was just like, oh my God, just stop talking.
Yeah. So as far as Vader, he did a lot of spinning.
Yeah, and he doesn't get dizzy. I wonder how that happens.
Yeah, or rather rolling.
Yeah, he liked the roll. That's how he was. I mean, another great way to use the Force is you can predict where the blaster shots are going. Right. So he knew exactly where to go, and that's what I think what made him we know what that's using the Force was what made him such a great pilot. But he's also a great tactician, right. And his instincts are always right in that regard. So I really love that battle sequence. I thought that was a true World War II dogfight right there. just
Yeah.
with really cool ships.
I like the fact that they kind of outsmarted him a little bit by jumping in like the last minute and just
Yes,
getting Vader caught in the tractor beam. I thought that was very cool.
I was really worried about that. I was like, oh my God, the tractor beam between both ships, their combination of the pull of both tractor beams colliding. Oh my God, that's going to be a mess. And how are they going to get out? And then when I saw kind of what they were about to do, that they were going to go right through it, kind of go through the blockade before the blockade was complete. I was like, that's really cool. And then the Vader getting trapped in it just made me kind of giggle.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, he's gonna be so pissed. Somebody's getting force choked for this. In fact, in my notes, I wrote, dude, you're so getting force choked
Yeah.
to the guy who let that happen. I was like, there was a couple people. It was when the admiral was like, I know you did everything. I know it's not your fault to the guy, and he's like, but I'm not gonna let Vader know that.
Right.
Like it was like, dude, I'm so throwing you under the bus for this.
Yep. Or
Which
rather,
is under,
under the Star Destroyer.
yeah, he's getting force choked later.
Yeah. So also Kanan says, I haven't felt the presence since the Clone Wars,
Yeah,
or Ahsoka finishes the statement. So.
yeah, because he did become Vader at the end of towards the end of the Clone Wars. So, and there was a lot of evil going on. I think the presence of the Emperor. So, I think if Kanan ever finds out who Vader really is, it will be a huge revelation, and it will really change him because that's a Jedi. A Jedi led the attack on the temple. And how much do the Jedi know about what Anakin did? Even, I mean, most of the people who saw him attack the Jedi Temple and the younglings are dead. If not all of them are dead. So does anybody really know that was Anakin Skywalker who did that? Besides like Obi-Wan and Yoda and Bail Organa.
Right.
And they're all laying low.
So I guess the final scene would be the Emperor. We don't see the Emperor, I don't think.
No, we see Vader kneel before the hollow table and you hear the voice. And
Yeah.
did anybody else think that was Ian McDiarmid? Because I sure did.
Yeah.
I had to actually look it up. And I was like, that's not Ian? Because whoever did that was really close.
Yeah, agreed. And the fact that the Emperor, I thought it's interesting that whether they're close by a cave or from a ship to ship, or it just be across the galaxy, the Emperor is able to sense something in Vader, that Vader has something on his mind.
Right. It's like the apprentice of Skywalker, which also is very similar to the son of Skywalker. Well, you must join us or die kind of thing.
Right.
And very much, I mean, there's always a lot of, I think, references or little inside hints to the original trilogy. But I think this episode, and most of all, there were the most for me. I mean, I just stopped keeping track. I was going to do a tally mark after the first 4. And I was like, no, I'd rather enjoy the episode than try to break it down. But I also thought it was really cool that apparently we're getting another Inquisitor. Yeah. So they're like, I was like, it's never going to be as cool as Jason Isaacs. I'm sorry. I mean, I know who's voicing the new Inquisitor. I was like, cool, but not quite so cool as Jason Isaacs.
Agreed.
I think but I do love that it's going to be a female Inquisitor.
Yes, that's going to be cool.
Very cool. And someone who's done voiceover work before, and I'm okay with, I'm okay with that casting. Yeah. Which we'll talk about when that episode happens.
Yep. So any final thoughts on this episode?
There were a couple moments that there were lots of moments that made me happy, that made my little 6-year-old heart beat. But I really loved seeing the Lothal headquarters looking so Death Star-like, with the Star Destroyers kind of in the sky around it. That image just totally blew me away. And it was so beautifully done. I just thought I would like a screenshot of that on my wall. Like, I would like somebody to do a print of that scene, that shot of the very round headquarters with
Yes.
pieces missing. It looks, the way it's constructed, it looks like there's pieces missing. I was just like, God, that is just beautiful. And with the Star Destroyers kind of hovering, it kind of reminded me of episode of Doctor Who where they're on Pete's world and there's the airships kind of hovering around. But
Right.
mostly it reminded me of the Death Star with Star Destroyers hanging around outside. And if somebody can do a print of that for me, I would love that. I just thought it was beautiful, and they showed it twice. They showed, I think it was twice that we got to see it, and I just like never seen that many Star Destroyers in one
Right.
place. It kind of
Right.
like somebody, I can't remember who said it. Somebody said it, and so never Ahsoka, or never seen that many Star Destroyers in the sky. I was very sad that Ezra's house got bombed. Because I think that was kind of like his last connection, but he didn't react the way I thought he would. I think he's kind of let his past go.
Right.
I'm still dying to know what the secret is of why the Empire wants Lothal, but and I just gotta say, I love Callus. I just love him so much.
Yeah, I think he's become a fan favorite.
Yeah, and David, and I never say his name right, David Awelio is so amazing at voicing him. It's just like the voice casting on this show is so perfect.
Agreed.
I'm so excited to see people coming back and to see who else we get. And then the next episode we get D. Bradley Baker all over the place.
Right.
So, which is awesome.
So also, so I think, yeah, overall this was a really great special episode.
It really got you back ready. It's like, okay, we're back.
Right. Seeing something, a lot of people get to see something at a celebration, and then it officially came out. So, very cool episode. I mean, seeing Vader was amazing, and I can't wait to see him again.
Yeah, totally.
So,
I'm glad he's going to be our bad for this season, or at least one of them.
right. All right, I guess we go and wrap this thing up. So,
Okay.
I would like to make an announcement. Sadly, or happily, maybe some of you are happy. I'm stepping down from being head of Radio Free Indoor / RebelsCast, as well as my other podcast. I just have a lot going on, and schedule's going to get busy. So, starting in 2016, I'll be stepping down, and who my successor is still in the works.
Yeah, I'm still.
Yeah,
I'm still having to think.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it when there's a decision.
Yeah.
But just know that this is an amazing thing for Jonathan. What he's going to be doing is so cool.
Which I'm not ready to reveal yet.
Right, but this is, while we're sad that Jonathan won't be podcasting, for a little while maybe. It's a very exciting time for him. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, Radio Free Indoor will broadcast on.
Right. So, in the meantime, we're talking to members of the Southgate Media Group, friends of friends, as well as another way is if a listener wants to try to get in on the Radio Free Indoor Southgate Media Group, you can send in an audition. Max, I mean, I don't know how many submissions I'll get, but if I get a lot, I don't want to listen to more than 20 minutes. Neither does Rob, I think, because he is a busy guy.
Very.
So yeah, and it could just be, it's just regular discussion about Star Wars. I mean, it could be like, I don't know, the reproduction cycle of Hutts. No, please don't. I'm kidding. Do not.
No, we don't need to know.
We don't do that. Just kidding. Yeah, or if you want to, I mean, this is also, I mean, it's not necessary. So if you only have time for one podcast, you don't have time for Radio Free Indoor and RebelsCast, you can make the audition specifically for Rebels Cast and just talk about an episode. Any episode will do. If you want to do it in singles, that's fine. If you want to do it in pairs, not guaranteed that both of you will get in, but sometimes it's hard just to talk by yourself. I mean, I find
Yeah.
myself talking to myself, but that's just me. Um, but
But yeah,
yeah,
even if you just want to tell us or tell Jonathan and Rob, uh, your love of Star Wars, it doesn't have to be like specifically like talking about like like an episode of Rebels Cast. But one of the first question Jonathan asks one of our guests is always, when and how did you get involved with Star Wars? So
yeah. So that would definitely be a good thing to
yeah,
mention.
so I don't know how much input I will have. So
Um, so let's see. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Darn it, I just had it. Um, yeah, so just kind of a short thing. Can't guarantee that both of you would get in if it's in pairs, like I said, but so who knows? Maybe we'll like you and we'll find another place for you. There's just so many options with podcasting, but
exactly.
I'll be announcing this on Radio Ramen, and I'll make sure to get on Radio Free Indoor, since it's not everyone listens to both, and Big Picture Radio as well. So
Yeah, we'll post
I'll
something.
still be like an advisor, so I think my fingerprints will still be on the stuff, just trying to mentor whoever steps up to the plate. So yeah, I won't be going away. Some of you are crying, some of you are laughing, some of you are, I don't know, doing something else, some other emotion. Um, so yeah, that's what that is about. So starting 2016, I'll be becoming an advisor, and yeah. Oh yeah, and of course, this new Star Wars trailer is coming up.
Oh
So
yes.
if you wanna, on the 19th, along with the poster and along with tickets going on sale. So if you wanna send in a review of an audition of talking about the trailer, that'd be great. And hopefully me and Nikki will be able to do a Radio Free Indoor as soon as we can after the
Yeah.
trailer's release.
Yeah,
Um,
I hope so, because and then I will be buying my tickets on the 19th of October. So if I'm doing a little happy dance and screaming, I got tickets
that's fun.
on Radio Free Tour. But yeah, just and I'm looking forward to spending more money that I don't have on Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, loans, paid
Yeah.
off every month. You just got to go for it. It's you gotta
Yeah,
sacrifice for the wars.
exactly. And I have made many, but it uh it's an exciting time for Star Wars fans. And next week on episode 2 of Star Wars Rebels, it's gonna be even more exciting
Indeed.
because it's the episode I've been looking forward to most of all.
Yep. All right. So, where can people find you if they want to know what's going on with you?
People on Twitter, you can find me at iHeartColson or at Marvelverse Talk, which is the new name for the old Helicarrier podcast, Marvelverse Podcast. Also, I'm on Facebook, and you can also find me at Radio Free Indoor. And Jonathan can be found at JEBell49er and also at Radio Free Indoor, and on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio Free Indoor.
And then there's also the email address, which you can send your comments, thoughts, ideas, questions, as well as auditions to radiofreeindoor@gmail.com. So yeah, I don't know how many submissions I'll get, but if you're at least a bit a little interested, just kind of send it in. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
So, we're not. It's not like there's like one spot or something. You know what I mean? We could just.
Right.
We're always looking for more talent and people who want to kind of join this, little mini network we have in the midst of the Southgate Media Group. So, um, you know, I know time zones can be a little problem too, but especially for the UK people. But we'll figure it out. If
We'll
you
figure
don't
it out.
worry, if you live in the UK or Japan or something and you really want to get on, we'll be able to we'll be able to figure something out. So don't think, oh yeah, I don't live in the United States or I don't live in this time zone. That's fine.
We're in different time zones and we do just fine.
Yes, yes. And it's like, what time is it there?
It is 9:41
Yes.
a.m.
Yep. So you had to sacrifice a little bit for that. Sometimes we had where I'm up late and you were there a little earlier,
Right.
you know?
I got off work at midnight and I was home by 12:30, so and then I rewatched the episode. So I didn't get a lot of sleep,
Right. So
but it's worth it for Star Wars.
yeah, if I was to start at 8 a.m. is for podcasting is about the same as like 10 p.m. for me. My mind is just like I'm gonna fall asleep. So I'm even a little tired now because I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. So
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a nap
yeah,
before I start baking. I have lots of stuff to bake today.
Yum. Okay. So for Radio Free Endor and the Southgate Media Group, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Nikki.
And thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.